unlocking your world of creativity with best-selling author and brand innovator, Mark Stinson. This episode is brought to you by White Cloud Coffee Roasters, nestled in the heart of Idaho's mountain wilderness, where every bean tells a story of adventure. Discover the difference in their premium beans, meticulously roasted to capture the essence of the mountains. Now, listeners of our podcast can get an exclusive 10% discount. Just use the promo code CREATIVITY at checkout. Visit whitecloudcoffee.com and use the code CREATIVITY.
Welcome back, friends, to our podcast, Your World of Creativity, where we explore the mindsets and the methods of creative practitioners worldwide. So whether you're an author, a singer-songwriter, an inventor, a restaurateur, or a designer, we're here to uncover some ideas and inspirations to help you bring your creative visions to life. And we love our worldwide tour of creative hotspots. Just in the last few episodes, we've been to Australia, Italy, in the States, New York, Miami, Austin. So today we're traveling and stamping our creative passport in Cape Town, South Africa. And we're going to meet a visionary who's refining and redefining creative spaces. Please welcome Daniela Gottschalk. Danielle, welcome.
Hello, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be on your show.
Danny, it's great to talk to you. Interior designer, founder of Tinzeltown with a Z, Tinzeltown. I love that.
Yeah.
A very high concept project development design firm. Your creation, the Bohoho, is on our list to talk about, so I can't wait for that. I read that it captures the essence of 1960s Palm Springs, but offers very luxurious haven for travelers. So let's dive into your world. You've got a very creative path to where you are now. Started as a copywriter, you've been a restaurateur, you're a therapist, now a designer. How does that all influence and come together for you?
Well, I think like when you go to school, you're basically not really informed what jobs are out there besides like the regular. You become a teacher, you study economics, and you become a nurse or whatever. But there are so many jobs in the field of creativity no one tells you about. So when I came from school, I was just thinking like, oh, these AdWords. Like I did not know that there's a copywriter and an art director involved. I just said to someone, I want to make these sentences on the boards, yeah? And then I was informed that this is copywriting. So I started in an advertising agency as a copywriter, a junior copywriter, and then I figured out very quickly that I'm not the type of person. I have like a strong inner feeling about what is right and what is wrong when it comes to, also like when it comes to other stuff, I guess, but also when it comes to creativity. So I cannot, only because I'm not on top of hierarchy, let me tell some alcoholic CEO that we can't do what I think would be the best for the product to do. It was very hard for me. And then your ideas getting cooked down to an uncreative world where you almost ashamed to put your name under it, and then you're working and working. And of course, you're working for the next award, but you will never get there because at least in Europe, it takes like a year before your spot is being aired and so on and so on and so on. And that's like, yeah, that's definitely my thing, creating, but I can't be in this very political environment. I can't be creative like this. It's almost absurd to even call you creative. So, and then I always loved to cook for people. And then I was thinking I was opening a restaurant. Looking back, it was like to design the restaurant. I mean, after 20 years, I can say I should not have spent probably a single day behind the counter. But I was thinking, okay, I just must do it myself, Also, I love to cook, but it's definitely something else to own a restaurant than to what you dream of how it is. I love doing it, but what I really loved doing about it was about just designing the place. And after 3 years, I designed my own bar. But I always designed the stuff, but then I was also running it. So I didn't realize for a very long time that this is my main obsession, like designing stuff. And then, of course, you also must find people who want to pay you for doing that.
Yes.
I experienced to do that myself. I bought a house in Croatia and I designed that. And then it became clearer and clearer that people turned around to me and said, who designed your bar? Yeah, me. And who designed the house in Croatia? Yeah, me. Oh, would you come to London and design my apartment? And I'm like, probably that's what I am. Some people just call themselves artists, but it's always a question: when do you start to calling yourself a certain thing or profession? So, and of course, the psychology thing plays a role in the whole design, but it also plays a role in hospitality. So, in the end, it all comes down to make people feel better about themselves, make them enjoy the environment, enjoy themselves. Okay, if alcohol is involved, it's probably not the right approach, but as soon as you are with people and you get to know people more, and I'm also very interested in people and in their soul. So basically, as it sounds like five totally different things, but it's actually all part of the same thing.
That's right. And it culminates now in your work as an interior designer, creating spaces. When you were talking about designing the restaurant, but certainly travelers, hospitality, there is a certain feel that you're trying to create and express to create the spaces that you're working on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I always want people. I was just reading it. It's not for myself. So basically, when you enter your home or when you enter a bar, it must be a mixture of like a stone is falling from your heart. So you must feel a certain type of relief. And yeah, that's where I want to stay. That's where I want to, but not only stay. I mean, I had a lot of people in my bar who told, not a lot of people, but I had a guy coming over to me and said like, your bar helped me to come out of the closet. Because the bar has no rules. There's so much, like, also the design has no rules. It's just like, express yourself, don't be shy, the table must not stand here, the carpet must not lie there. Though we all think everything must be in place, and a table mat can only be placed used as a table mat. But I think creativity is about giving things new meanings. So putting them in a different space and combining them differently in a way that probably someone shy would say it doesn't fit together, but also seeing someone has the balls, let's say, to put it together, and you just like, wow, that's possible. I can think and live out of the box. It's giving people some kind of freedom, I would say.
Well, you're touching on a lot of psychology concepts and
Yeah.
a lot of principles from
Yeah.
your psychotherapy background, I suppose. But
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
really fostering, oftentimes in this content world, we use the word engagement, but an interior space has even more engagement, this immersion almost that you're describing.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's like more calculated. Also, it's not. I mean, I dreamed out the house exactly like it was, and everyone building the house and doing the floors and everything. They had no idea what this is about to be. But when it was done, when the container finally arrived, and I arranged everything, it was exactly like I had in my head. And I have in this contest like a photographic memory. Also, I'm just memorizing what I envisioned in my head, as bad as I'm in with a computer. So whoever wants to use me as an interior designer, you get like a very old-fashioned mood board where I paint and glue stuff on it, because I can't handle computers. It's too mathematic for me. Must be all like glued together. And yeah, but I also think like people like that.
That's fantastic. Well, your work has been celebrated a lot because of its retro Hollywood glamour. You
Yeah.
like these bold colors, don't you?
Yeah. Wow. I like these bold colors, and I also like the old design, and I like that feel that the Chateau Marmont, the Beverly Hills Hotel has this glam, not like ultra modern, just like a little bit of ultra modern with pop art, but just like this feel. I always say like, it's like when you come into that house, you imagine like Liz Taylor and not Burt Reynolds, it's Richard Burton lying on the pool, listening to Sinatra, sipping some martinis. So just that a little bit carefree, carefree but luxurious world that I imagine the 60s have been, especially like in old Hollywood in Tinzeltown, um, where not everything was so, I think it's so brutal and so everything is used, everything is done. So it was like it was the beginning of something, and that had this spark of like, yeah, a little bit of innocence, but with a lot of glam and kaboom.
Hmm. Well, and the role of hospitality, I see a thread going along here, from running a bar to designing these spaces. Hospitality
Yeah.
seems to be a central theme. What are some of the lessons in hospitality that you try to bring to your design work?
I think really like giving people space, not like dictating. It must be like a little bit like a playground. So you shall come in. It must be a whole experience. So it's not only like, I've been somewhere and it was nice and it was more like a museum and I was scared to touch stuff. I just have been here to a shop and it's called Wunderkammer, which is actually like a German name, but also a Dutch name, but also a Afrikaans name, and it means like basically room of wonder. The guy told me like in the late 1920s or 30s, after dinner, you had like the richer people, they had a Wunderkammer in their house where they had all kind of curiosities, stuff you have never seen. And then you did entertain your guests there. So they had their cherry and their cake, and then they went into the Wunderkammer where they got like a little circus show with stuff which was curious. And I think like every room, every bar, everywhere you go for entertainment should really as well entertain you. And also like a house should not fail to entertain you. I do understand that some people want nothing but calmness, but I think it must engage you like any relationship. So you must still find something new. You must still see a corner that you obviously haven't seen before or never saw it in that light.
Yes. And we've been talking about your town, Cape Town.
Yeah.
How is this creative community influencing you as a designer? All the different kind of creative forces that are in that city.
Oh, it's just absolutely amazing compared to Germany, where I'm originally from. Germany is like dead. Germany is like beton. There is nothing creative in Germany. It's like, honestly, I mean, all the Germans will hate me now, but Germany is basically just by it's very strict. Why? It's killing a lot of creativity. And here, basically, there is not so much, and there's more done out of stuff which people would probably throw away, or people really dig deeper and they also allow themselves more. So there's more. There also, it's not about perfection. It's not about creating something that is really worth selling for a fortune. It's just like self-expression. There's a lot of self-expression from street paint, but also like if you go into a coffee shop, people did little books where they painted inside. You cannot even, I mean, it's like all the colors of the nature, but also the colors of the people, the clothes they're wearing. Then also when you go along the coast, every district has different colors. Basically, everything is allowed, and that makes it so easy to find. And then it's also not so overused. There's still a lot of space, and you will always find a niche to do something that has not been done. It's not. I unfortunately don't know the English word for it, but if you ate enough, you are completely filled. And this is not completely filled. You can find so many cracks and niches where you can place something new, and everyone is still welcoming to what you do. In Germany, it's more about doing something great, doing it good, doing it perfect, mastering a profession, only coming out with something that's worthwhile. And here it's just about the fact of doing something, which really is like learning or speaking a language. So Germans will, for example, most of them will speak English, but they don't speak because they don't speak well. So they're not speaking at all. So, and in other countries, you just go ahead and speak the little that you can, and people will always appreciate that you try. And then your language also gets better. It's also with your creativity. If nobody looks stupid at you because you painted your door in pink, then you probably do it again. Or next time you do something else.
Hmm. Well, it must be very encouraging as a creative, this kind of maybe less criticism, less critique, less inhibition.
Exactly. No, there's no criticism at all. It feels like say something nice or don't say anything. And people are very welcoming and they notice the most little thing. I mean, a woman just passed by my table and she said, "Oh God, your cappuccino looks lovely." I mean, I didn't do the cappuccino myself. There was no part of creativity in cappuccino for me, but just to say something like that, that's so lovely. So, and basically, I mean, every day someone compliments me on my dresses. That just happens here. I never had this happen anywhere before. So people notice you. People are not shy to compliment you. It's even me coming with the having the German in me that it takes me some weeks to be here, to be that open and also giving it back, not just like taking it and say, "Wow, it's actually really possible." They don't think you hit on them. You like just being friendly. Wow. So, and then this makes everything possible. You really for me, I really can go overboard here with everything. So I also try out new techniques, making my own cushions, making my own lamps. Yeah, everything is possible, and there's a lot of people who just handcraft stuff, and you just come to them with ideas, and they will put it into action for you, which is in a lot of countries, of course, not affordable at all. But here it also is, which is also beautiful for me, at least.
Yes, that's fantastic. Well, Danny, where can people connect with you and learn more about your work and what you're working on?
Oh, they can connect over Instagram, they can connect over Facebook, they can connect over my website.
There you go. Well, I'll put those links in the show notes so we can be sure to follow your work because it all
Yeah.
sounds quite fascinating.
Okay.
What's your next challenge? What are you taking on next?
We have been to a restaurant and they just overtook that, and they are a very established restaurant here in Cape Town, but I don't know why, but they moved locations, and a new location is basically it's not great, but they cook great. They're around for a very long time, so they have a good name, but this location definitely needs work. And okay, we all had a little bit to drink, but I guess that will be my next project. So we're talking about it. So, and that's also what I want to do. I desperately want to do a restaurant here, also to like have a really outlet where people go. So, because I think that my style is very unique. It's not for everyone, but I think like for restaurants and bars, it's just perfect. If you want to make, if you don't want to just like blend in, and I think nobody really wants to blend in. You want to stand out.
That's exactly right, especially with a restaurant. Very competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially here. Here are so many good restaurants you will not believe. It's like it's unbelievable.
Well, Danny, I've really enjoyed talking with you and getting to
Thank
know
you.
you. And as I told you, Cape Town's on the list. So I've been in a
Yeah.
lot of places, but I've
It
never been to South Africa, and I would love to visit.
must move up to number one.
Well, my guest has been Daniela Gottschalk, and it's been such a great conversation about your journey. You're bold, and I could say bold, both in color and in design, creativity of your spaces. And we've been talking about blending psychology, hospitality, design. All these factors come to play. I really enjoyed talking with you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
And listeners, be sure to connect with Danny. I'll put all the links in the show notes. Hey, before we go, I'd like to thank our sponsor as well, White Cloud Coffee Roasters. Danny, like you, I enjoy my time in a coffee shop, and I mostly enjoy our local roaster, White Cloud Coffee, here in Idaho. So use the code CREATIVITY at checkout. You get a 10% discount on their specialty coffee. So visit whitecloudcoffee.com.
Mhm.
Well, until next time, we're going to continue our around the world travels. We'll keep dreaming, keep exploring, we'll keep creating, and definitely we'll keep unlocking your world of creativity. I'm Mark Stinson, and we'll see you next time.